months have passed after the town of Fiddlesticks was founded. Tom Fiddlesticks was sitting on his balcony admiring his town when it hit him that the citizens of the city were just crying out for exercise. He realized that the citizens had no way to bike to and from the train station and parks throughout the city. So Mr. Fiddlesticks, in his good nature, wanted the biking availability around the town to ensure his subjects had the ability to bike around his beautiful town of Fiddlesticks. He then contacted the mayor of Skellytown to request the changes be made to increase his subjects' happiness and fitness. Billy Skelly found the idea thought-provoking and interesting, so he took the bait. Tom Fiddlesticks proposed there be a brand new bike lane all the way down Main Street and into the suburbs, connecting the entire city, and wanted many parks as well, scattered around to ensure maximum happiness. Unfortunately, Mr. Fiddlesticks was slowly running out of money because the career was starting to tank, but he knew if he could get Town of Fiddlesticks on board, that maybe that could save his career. So Billy Skelly agreed to fund half of the new infrastructure project with a grant from Skellytown itself. If you guys are excited for this new bike network and park extension, smash that like button and subscribe to stay up to date for future builds. And leave a comment or just an emoji to let me know what we should be doing in the next episodes. So if you guys are excited for this, let's get going. Alrighty, here we are in the city of Fiddlesticks, which is very slowly getting much nicer and nicer as this fills out. Obviously there's about 1 billion trucks in here. I don't know what the trucks are doing. It does say they're full of like concrete, timber. I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? Concrete and timber are to build houses, so yeah, I mean, that one's just pulling into that house right there. Is that gonna upgrade? I don't know. Anyway, we are on an endeavor in this episode to fix a little bit of the transportation here, as there's a lot of people walking around in and out of the train station, so we definitely need some form of transit around the city into the train station, as that's how people are going to get to and from Skellytown. So it's really interesting. There's zero park. There's 1 car parked in this parking lot, so I don't really understand that at all. But yeah, I guess they'd rather park on this road here instead of those parking spots. But let's first get our bike lanes out. Sorry, I mean, we're gonna get our bike storage first. Now we are going to use some anarchy here and hope that this connects. So we're going to get maybe a few of these. I don't think this will fit. Yeah, that kind of overlaps just a smidge. Yeah, so we're going to end up having to do like these guys here. Let's see, is that going to fit? I guess that technically would fit. What happens if I put that there? Can I delete just that tree? No, I can't delete just the tree, can I? Well, I guess that's not going to be there then. Oh, apparently it has to be there. Okay, game. I guess I will oblige. So let's do a few of these things, and then let's just get our picker out and just build a few of these, as we're going to need probably a handful of these guys. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. It doesn't really seem like it's overlapping, and that gives a fair amount of usage availability for that. So that's good. I did realize as well that there were some paths right here that we are not connecting. So I thought maybe we would at least give these a bit of a connection here. Do something like that. That way, maybe that'll help. Maybe this will allow that connection. Wow, that's great. I love that. Amazing. What in the world? All right. Can't fix that. That's wonderful. All right, game. Love it when you do that. All right, let's maybe try that again, and maybe don't make it. Oh, this time it's gonna make. Oh, there we go. All right, that should help a little bit. Give a little bit more variation of how people can make it through here. Might even take it down to there. Oh, look at that. We got some interesting. All right, the next step is going to be adding in the bike lanes. Let's go to our road services, and we're just gonna really iron out a lot of the bike lanes here. I don't know exactly where we're gonna go, but I do know we are gonna go down the main street at least. But at this point, I think we'll have a few kind of main drags here. Yeah, so let's start with about that. And then maybe we curve it down this way, come down this way. So we'll make a few loops, nothing too major. Have a couple kind of main drags back towards the train station, at least, as well. This one for sure. So then that gives this road, that road turned out to be exactly even. So I'm apparently a master at this. All right, so let's just make sure that this comes down there. So now we have, yeah, we got a fair amount of usage here. I don't think we need to go around that. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then one thing else that we need to do is we need to come in here, make sure that people love bicycling. And I don't know what would happen if we did heavy traffic ban. I feel like that might break Main Street a little bit. But I think we'll leave it be for now. We will do speed bumps. That should help with some of the vehicle traffic. And then, okay, so the other piece that we need is definitely coming this way. We want some bike lanes, although we will probably just connect this up somehow with bike lane at some point. So let's just maybe get a loop in here. Now this road can go pretty much all the way down, which is excellent. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a loop right here as well. And then why don't we just throw it on this main road as well. So there's quite a bit of bicycle lanes here, but that's okay. I'm not too mad about that. So yeah, the one thing else we need to do is come into here, get our bike network out, and then we're gonna see if that will work over that. Except for it needs to be a bridge. Oh, okay, well, nope, don't do that. Oh no, I can't delete it. There we go. All right, let's try that one more time. I think this is just gonna have to be probably up maybe a couple feet when it goes over. I think we'll probably have to be, I think that's still way too low. So we're gonna have to be maybe there-ish. That'll work. And then we can bring it right back down. And actually, let's bring it down maybe to there first. Let's make sure we're on an angle here. And then we can bring it down to the ground. About there. That'll work for me. Now, the question is, can't upgrade this. So that's kind of annoying. Well, let's see. Oh my goodness, there's so many people walking up this thing. Look at all these people. That's amazing. I love that. That's fantastic. All right, yeah. So we just need to pretty much connect up this bike over here. So let's go ahead and yeah, we'll just uncheck that so that it kind of does what it wants to do here. And let's make sure our topography is on. We're probably going to need to make a quick turn here. Something like that. I'd say it's pretty good. And then we need about a little bit of a curve going up that way. All right, and then we will just kind of snug this guy along here. See what we can do. I don't know. Maybe we go like that. I think that should still technically connect. There are some of these trees along the path, and then yeah, well, that should be starting to get used, I think, hopefully. All right, one other thing that I wanted to do here was to add in this road to actually continue on down past, kind of right down here, and actually connect it to that road. I think that should technically work, and it should just give a little bit another option, I guess, as to, you know, what's possible here. So let's make sure that that's kind of about there. And then we will do just a little bit of a curve into there. That should work pretty well. I don't know, it just gives a little bit of variation. That's pretty good. Yeah, so the only thing we'll have to change is essentially this bridge needs to back up a little bit. All right, get rid of a few trees there, and then essentially we just need to back this. We just need to back this up. All right, that should be pretty good. Yeah, that looks good to me. Yeah, so now we just kind of give give another way for people from over here to be able to make it in there. And actually, we might turn that into a bike lane. I think should be reasonable. Let's go ahead and just turn that into a designated bike lane here. We'll continue it right up from there. Yeah, so now there's a decent amount of options in the city there. All right, last thing to do would be to fill in this gap here. All right, now that we have the bike network itself in place, next step is to add some more bike parking. We need a fair amount of kind of stalls and shelters placed around the area. Probably a bigger one here by the school, I would say. So let's kind of figure out where a good spot for that could be. I'm thinking we might just kind of like put it right here, make it look like it's kind of part of the school, maybe? Nah, that's too big. I don't know. We could just add an underground one for this area, just because of how dense it is. I think that could be useful. I mean, because there's a lot going on here. Kind of makes sense. So why don't we just kind of hide it? I mean, it's not the most realistic, but we could just hide it. And I'm not sure why this building is so low. Really? All right, that's a little better. All right, let's just make sure as well that this maybe isn't too bad. And what we're gonna do is we need to remove some of the trees on this thing. So we got to go into edit. We got to go into delete mode. And we have to go into sub elements and just remove a few of these trees on that hospital. That should be much better. And then let's actually just slide it on over. And then we have to delete the trees again. All right, that's looking a little better. Yeah, we can go with that. Look, there's already somebody using it. Fantastic. So that's a good step one there. And then, yeah, we're going to need quite a bit more of these around the area. So that's got almost 500. So that should help quite a bit right there, if you ask me. All right, we don't obviously want that everywhere. So we are going to probably want maybe a few of these other smaller ones around the area. We could do maybe one right here. That could kind of service a bunch of this area. And then we are going to need probably some kind of in this middle region here. I'm not really sure how we're going to end up doing that per se. We might end up just having to do a bunch of bike stands and just kind of throw them around. We might throw maybe a couple here as well. And I think that should pretty much do it. We could add a few more around this area, just kind of fill it out. I don't know exactly what we wouldn't really need them in these residential areas because I'm pretty sure they just park their bike at their house. I think. I hope that's how it works. That'd be kind of dumb if it didn't work that way, but all right. Over here by the elementary school on this side, you know, we might add maybe one of these. Just kind of make it look like it's part of the building there. And actually, we're way short on student facility here, student capacity. So let's see, this thing does just a clinic. We don't really need that. So let's go ahead and add in that extra bit there. And while we're at it, since Mr. Fiddlesticks themselves wanted to play kind of more of an area for parks and things like that, let's go ahead and add the park addition on. Apparently this is not accessible. All right, there we go. All right, one last bit that probably needs some form of bike capacity would be down here, kind of in this area. I'm thinking that, can we get it in here? I'm hoping that maybe we can squeeze that in here. Oh, I saw green. Oh, there we go. That's gonna be perfect. Voila. Okay, yeah, that looks great. I will take that. So now we got kind of a biking parking all the way down here on this end of Fiddlesticks. So moving on, past the bikes, I wanted to just come back to how many citizens are actually in Fiddlesticks. And we are almost double what the initial plan was, which was 5,000. So I'm thinking that just this bit here probably would have been sufficient for about 5,000. Yeah, we're way over it now. So Mr. Fiddlesticks himself is very happy. All right, the next step will be a bit of a bus route. So we're gonna need probably another small bus depot out here, which should work. We should probably use this compact bus depot because it's neat. I got 10 vehicles on it, which should be plenty in the case of the town of Fiddlesticks. So a matter of where to put it is, I don't know. We're gonna find a good spot for it. Not entirely sure where yet, but we are gonna find a good spot for it. And I am kind of thinking that maybe we just kind of relocate some of these houses here and have it right alongside the highway here. I think that could be pretty reasonable. You kind of have this little bit of a industrial facility here. So let's go ahead and maybe just kind of separate it out a little bit with some pine trees there. But yeah, this is a beautiful asset. This is amazing. So classic, you know? All right, so we don't necessarily want the buses to kind of come down this main road here. I think there's a bit too much traffic there, if you ask me. So I think what we're going to end up doing for the bus lines is they're going to come down this road at some point, because that is where the drop-offs are going to be. And hopefully never mind. I was going to say hopefully it lets us do that, but it doesn't, which is not surprising. Does it let us do it in Anarchy? No. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. So you have all this, you have this road here, but it doesn't let you put it there because apparently that's not good enough. All right, well, I guess it's going to be right there. Those it's going to get, I guess. Then we're going to go same thing on this side. Going to go there and there. I guess we don't really need the both sides, actually, now that I think about it. All right, we're going to try that again. Because actually, it let me, interestingly enough, can I put it on there? Oh, I saw it. There it is. We're going to do that, actually. That way, I guess it does get rid of that parking. That's really annoying. Why has it got to do that? All right, let's see if I could filter. I don't want to filter the buildings, so we're gonna take everything off. Can we move that? No, we can't. All right, well, it was worth a shot. Unfortunately, I think maybe we have to switch it here. I don't know. It just seems like it's so far away. Yeah, I think we just have to, actually. So we're gonna end up placing them right here. And actually, let's use. Sorry, I'm saying actually. All right, this game continues to crash on me. It's starting to get really annoying. Alrighty, guys, we crashed again. I don't know where we're at anymore. I do remember I tried to delete that road, and that's when it crashed. I do want to delete that. I think people need to start using the main road here. Let's go ahead and maybe give some extra lanes, possibly, in. Could be useful. Let's do the same here. And actually, we need to flop that one. Didn't realize that. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll flip-flop a few of those. Makes sense to do this one the other way. Does it, actually? I don't know. Especially this one. We should swap that one, at least. That one makes sense. Okay, well, yeah, it crashed before the bus stops again. So let me go ahead and get all this up and running again. Okay, so we got that. I did build technically a ramp right here that didn't stay, but let me quick add that back in. All right, why don't we do it that way instead? That way it connects directly and has a perfect slope. You know what? I guess in the end it's better because now there's a pillar going through the train line. Yeah. Can I delete just the pillar? I can. We'll pretend like that pillar is holding it up. All right. At least that looks better now. So maybe in the end it's all good. All right. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm sure it'll crash again. Just my luck. So we're gonna add some of these bus stops around the area. I think kind of makes sense to have a few of these in this region, since that's where a lot of the cars are. All right, we're gonna do a couple there, maybe kind of a couple by this one to kind of gather those people up, and then I think maybe we just do 2 there. That should probably be enough for that area there. And then I'm kind of thinking that we don't need too much down here, so maybe just one down this main road would make sense, and then maybe one up there for that group. I don't exactly know how the lines are going to work here. If it honestly might be more of a straight line and just kind of a turnaround sort of thing. I don't know the best way to do these lines, to be honest, but we are going to figure it out. So if we start there, let's go ahead and start our line out. I think I started it, didn't I? I did. That's really hard to see that color. Let's go over like a bright neon yellow. All right. So we're going to go this way. We're going to end down here. I think, God, there's really no easy way to do this. I think what we do, actually, I'm going to flip-flop these, actually. So we're going to do on top and bottom there, I guess. And we will delete those ones. Yeah, sorry, guys. So sad. All right. I didn't actually create this line yet, but so let's kind of just work our way around the loop here. Yeah, we don't really need to go out any further than that. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I don't know what the fuck's happened. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. All right. I'm back. Rather annoyed. Had to fix a ton of stuff. Had to get rid of some mods. Switch out some things. I don't know if this is going to make it work, but we're going to try it. In the meantime, I got rid of the whole Tygon's rail infrastructure pack, so I've been busy having to fix a bunch of stuff. This being one of them, which is actually still not working because I noticed this. That's a little bit in the way. Man, I gotta move it. Hopefully sliding it is gonna make it work, maybe? Actually, it is a little crooked. Oh, I don't think I want to do. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna have to reconnect it anyway. So I'm hoping maybe I can get that road in the middle-ish, kind of right down this street. I think that should work fairly nicely. And now it's telling me that this isn't connected. Of course it's not. All right, we're gonna have to reconnect that. I already had to redo all of the lines, so fun for me. But yeah, this is getting real annoying. Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're probably just gonna redo where this road comes out here, and just make it come straight down for now. End up deleting those little bits there. Just kind of redo this just so that this is a little bit nicer, I guess. And then we'll make that come across. That looks fine to me. Get rid of some of those houses there. I think we'll live with that. And then, yeah, we'll put some of these houses back in there. That should be good there. And then we just have to connect this road. And every time the game saves, I'm feeling like it's going to crash every single time. Oh, is it annoying? Okay, well, great. Fine game. All right. It's fine. We're just going to do that. It'll work. Yeah, now we just have to get these roads connected here. Hopefully go kind of at a 90, please. And straight. Yikes. Hey, well, guess what? On the bright side, we have a train station closer to the city hall now. Oh, but yeah, this has been a trial and error here. This is terrible. Yeah, I've had to update that one. I updated this train station. I luckily did not have to update that train station, but I still have to do all the cargo ones. I'm going to do that later. So let's get back to what we're doing. Also, I had to add Lumina mod into here, which breaks pretty much every time we use it anyway. Okay, back out of that. Yeah, so what? While we were so rudely interrupted, what we were trying to do was, oh, lovely. So the last thing it saved was these 2 bus stops. So essentially we've gotten nothing done. Let's go ahead and put what our stops we had back in here, I guess. I'm thinking that maybe we just do a loop down here for now. That would be enough for one, I would say. So let's just do it down here at the end. I guess I needed this one yet. Yeah, let's just do that. And we will build a little roundabout kind of circle thing right here. Head our way around here. Make sure that we grab the right one, and loop back around. And it can't get there. Don't tell me the buses aren't allowed to go down that road. Why? Oh game, why do you irk me so much? Okay, well, well, that solves that issue then. Yep, delete that, and then we have to put these here, I guess. Which is kind of dumb. And then I guess we don't really need to go out that far then on this one, so we can go back to here. Oh, well, let's try that again, shall we? So we're gonna go down this road, not that one, please. Down there, to there, and then back to the start. Beautiful. And we will automatically just make a counterclockwise one as well. This loop doesn't do a whole lot, does it? All right, we got those 2 done. That's really, really dumb that you can't have buses go down that road. Yeah, whatever. So I think we get a few more bus stops down here, and then I don't know if we somehow, I don't know, we'll figure it out. All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna come down here. This one's gonna be a bright green one. We're gonna stop there because that's obviously the closest, and then we're just gonna loop back around up here. Well then, oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work. Okay, I guess we're gonna go there, and then just loop back around. I don't know. All right, we're gonna take this one down to here, and then maybe to this stop, and then we come back down to this stop. This will be a little bit of a mess. I'm gonna call it now. And we'll come down this way, and we'll stop on that one, and then we'll end there. Perfect. Sure, perfect. Okay, so this is gonna be Fiddlesticks, Loop A, and then the other red one's gonna be Loop B, because can't be bothered to name those. C and D. Beautiful. Now let's make sure that, oh, we don't have that would be something important to have here. A compact bus depot decided to leave us, so that's good. Go ahead and put that back in. All right, I think we're getting there. Annoyingly, but we're getting there. Let's go ahead and just add some trees back in here. Oh yeah, I had to, oh wait, I guess I can just, yeah, we should be good there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and hit play and see what happens. Hopefully all of the buses come out of here. You know what? No, I want electric buses because Mr. Skelly, not Mr. Skelly. There we go. Yeah, before that happens, please. We only got 10 buses out of here, and so we do need to verify that all of these is 10 buses. So this one's 3, and actually we do want electric buses. All right, well, it is 2, so that's also 3. So we're gonna make sure, so that's, we're up to 6 now. That's not looking great. And maybe these 2, oh my god, that one, see these ones more. So I think what we might do is do 2 on one of the other ones. This is getting out of hand. Oh, this is getting out of hand real fast. I can't even make that less than 3. That's all right. I don't think too many people are going to use that. So that is unfortunately 12. So that does not work very well. I think on A and B, we're going to have to probably drop it down to 2. Yeah, we'll have to see. I think that's going to be all the buses. It's just a matter of who gets how many and how. All right, the last step of this wonderfully terrible episode is adding parks. That was kind of the whole point. He wanted parks, so we need to add some nice parks. There's a merry-go-round castle. That's kind of cool. Ooh, that fits there quite nicely, actually. We're gonna place that right there. That is beautiful. Look at that. Why did it ruin the road? Excuse me? Park, what are you doing? All right, well, I kind of messed that up, but that's actually really cool. I didn't actually know that there were more parks within There's a Ferris wheel? Huh. Alright, well, we don't need those. we could put maybe some of these in here. Next to the... Let's see, does it fit there? Oh, it does. This is perfect. We're going to do this one right here. Have to, unfortunately, delete the houses after the fact. That is beautiful. You know what? We probably want to flip it. I'm going to flip it this way so that yeah, that looks better. Just so that the paths kind of connect in a little bit nicer there. All right, so we got a good number there. That pretty much covers that whole area. I think we maybe add another one around that area. I think down here maybe we just add a nice large playground. That could be useful. Kind of wanted that to go the other way, but of course it had to snap that way. Okay, let's see that. Yeah, that covers up that area pretty nicely. Let's go ahead and maybe do a dog park up here. That could be maybe right there by the train station. Not the train line. All right, we're getting there. I think maybe even just another dog park right here on this corner could be useful. Fill in the extra gaps, you might say. All right, let's slow it down a little bit. We don't need to be speeding up that quickly. All right, so we need some form of park through here, and I think if we get the 3-1 here, oh yeah, I think that's perfect. We could take apart a few of these, kind of make it look uniform, I guess. That's pretty good. Excellent. And then possibly maybe one more of these guys somewhere down here. Maybe like, yeah, continue on down this maybe. Let's go for it. The Park View Eatery. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I'll take that. Maybe we add in crosswalk right in the middle. Oh wait, no, you can't do that. Okay. All right. I think Mr. Fiddlesticks himself would be very happy with how this is actually turning out. Besides the terrible game keep crashing on me. But I think that's a beautiful spot to end it off here. We have our trains. Everything seems to be working back to normal again. Tons of people waiting here at the station. Let's see how many people are here. There are 752 people here. Oh, yeah. Oh my. I think this one's stuck. Excuse me, sir. Are you going to move? Oh, you are moving. No. We might possibly need another train on that one. Maybe, potentially. We'll see. You know what? I actually don't mind the standard trains. I think they look pretty nice. I don't know why I always did the other ones. But I think we're going to leave it off in this episode with a beautiful recap of the city. But anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date on any new content coming up. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, there's more where this comes from. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.